The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
All right. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show, taped live at the White Elephant, 366 Queen Street East. And how's everybody doing? That's fantastic. All right. Whew. It's going to be a great night. So let me ask you something. There's a lot going on in the world. What time is it?
Hot Topics.
That's right. It's time for Hot Topics. And what Hot Topics are, it's what is trending on social media, what people are talking about at the water coolers at work. So what's on everyone's tip of the tongue today? John Ghomeshi, right? Have you heard what happened to him? He actually turned himself in to the police today, and he's facing 5 criminal charges for their children in the audience. Sexual assault. All right, so, yeesh. I don't know. So the whole thing, the $50 million lawsuit against the CBC, that went out the window yesterday. So we'll see what happens with this story as it progresses. And then again, Ferguson is healing from the backlash of the decision made by a grand jury to not indict the police officer in Missouri who gunned down teenager Michael Brown in August 9th. So he's set free, and there are many, many angry protesters around America. And I believe there was one. There was a demonstration in Toronto, a peaceful demonstration last night. So I offer my condolences again, and a speedy healing for the city of Ferguson, because they're going through quite a bit right now. So has anyone heard the news about what I'm involved in? I wear many hats, as people are just starting to discover, right? Diana's like, what else do you do? Like, you do so much. So did you hear about the other thing I'm wearing? It's actually a crown. So I have been selected to be the delegate for Jamaica for the Miss Plus Size Universe pageant that's coming up. Thank you, thank you. So I'll be going down to Trinidad. Anyone here from Trinidad? Where my Trini's at? Soca, Soca? Okay. So I'm going down December 30th, and the pageant kicks off January 4th. So I'll be tweeting all the developments and putting pictures up on Facebook to let you know how things are going. So do you think I got a chance? Yeah? Okay. Good stuff. So let you know how that's going. And then Curvilicious, who are the Curvilicious leads here? Yeah, make some noise for yourself. Curvilicious calendar. The CEO, Tracy Croissant, is here, and thank you so much for supporting the show. They are having a calendar event on Wednesday, right? On Saturday, sorry. Have Wednesday on the brain. So Saturday, if you'd like to speak to her about that, some beautiful Curvilicious women in the calendar, and I'll also be supporting Curvilicious Canada. February 13th and 14th, the Nikki Clarke Show will be covering some stories at a conference there, so I'm glad that you're here. All right, so I don't know if many of you know that in my former life I used to be a grade school teacher. Did you know that? Yes. Yes? One person knows that. Okay. So now that you know, actually I taught from kindergarten all the way to college. So everything in between I covered. And one of the things that I enjoyed about teaching was sneaking up behind a student in the middle of mischief, just before they're about to strike. Do you know what I mean? Has anyone been in that situation, or no? Any teachers here? No? Okay, well, I see how it works is, it's not really in a manual or anything, but it's a fact that teachers have a certain shoe that they wear. It's very flat, it's flat for comfort, and it's austere looking. There's nothing sexy about it. It's usually black or brown or navy blue. And you wear these so that you can effectively go behind a student and stop them in the middle of what they're doing. So I recall a time when I used these shoes. I had special teacher shoes, And there was a student doing something in Spanish class that he shouldn't be doing. So with slow, precise, ninja-like movements, I snuck up behind him, and just at the nape of his neck, I did something like this. Can you turn this on? Check. What do you got there? Okay. So I said that to him. What do you got there? And he turned around, and have you heard a 16-year-old boy shriek before? So he says, Miss, I didn't even know you were in the room. And I said, well, exactly. Exactly, Matthew. What do you have in your hand? So he sheepishly, he hands over something to me, and he knows he's busted. So I look at the book, and I say, oh, Archie comics. Veronica and Betty go to college. A fine read, but not part of our Spanish curriculum. So I'm going to confiscate this. I'm going to take this book, all right? So Matthew turns around. He's like, oh, you know. So I said, you know, lea la página, por favor. That means just read the page, all right? And I do this signal. Does anyone know what this signal means? That's a teacher's signal for turn around before I put you in detention, because you're at a loss for words at that point. So he turns around, and then he just quickly motions to me. He says, well, when am I going to get the comic book back? And I said, when I'm finished reading it. I mean, I'll get back to you. Anyway, the good old days of being a teacher. So you know what? I have my friend here, Mello D, Dwight Grant. Can you make some noise for him, please? He is a prolific writer and amazing singer. And I was really happy to have met him a few weeks ago. And I'd like to sing a song for you. It's a throwback favorite of mine. Anybody here like Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway? I'm totally a soulful girl. Hey, let it sizzle. Closer I get to you. The closer I get to you, the more you'll make me see. By giving you all of God, your love has captured me. Over and over. to you. Feeling comes over me. Closer I get to you. Yeah, me too. Pulling closer, sweet as a gravity. Sing it, Dwight. Pulling closer, sweet as a gravity. Pulling me closer and closer. Thank you. Melody. All right. We've got an amazing show for you tonight, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.nikkiclarkenetwork.com.
Welcome back. Sitting with me now in the hot seat is the president of Swiss Bionics Inc. and PEMF Global, the lovely Ali Oakes here. Welcome her to the stage. Yeah, the thing I like about you is you always come prepared. You always bring the bling, and I appreciate that about you.
I'm the bling girl.
You're the bling girl.
I'm right along with you.
Absolutely. You know, we've traveled together, went to New York and talked about the amazing products that you have, and everyone here should know a little bit about some of the damage that's going on through radiation. Can we talk about how we are kind of slowly making ourselves sick unknowingly?
Yeah, and most people aren't even aware to what extent this is going on, how multiple sources of wireless radiation in our environment impair our cell function, and as a result we get sick. How do we get sick? Wireless radiation affects the regulatory gene in our cells, and therefore our cells can no longer do what they're programmed to do, to turn over, meaning old cells die, new cells develop, and we get sick. And a lot of all the civilization illnesses that we're talking about, that everybody has, I mean, back pain, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, headaches, no energy, low sex drive, right down to cancer, all relate back to wireless radiation.
Okay.
Right?
So what we're trying to do, what we're promoting is healthy cells.
That's right.
And now you've got me all connected here.
I've
to
got
this,
you hooked up.
all hooked up. So what do we have here?
What do we do? What you are experiencing right now, okay, this is actually the first integrative health interface offering PEMF magnetic fields or PEMF applications. What are PEMF applications? Yeah. Most people don't know that. Pulsating electromagnetic fields. So what you're sitting on here, my dear, emits an electromagnetic field within the frequency range of the biological window of human cell frequencies. So it's almost like you had the electromagnetic field of the Earth right close to your body. So it emits an electromagnetic field, and the frequencies resonate with your own frequencies. Right. So now when your cells resonate, they do so after 8 minutes for up to 6 hours. So now when your cells resonate, the cell charge is raised, the cells can perform their optimum function, and you feel well, and you get healthy.
I think that's fantastic, right?
Phenomenal, yeah, phenomenal.
So the whole idea of electromagnetism is what? What is that?
To optimize cell function again and reverse the effects that we are experiencing in our environment from wireless radiation. Wireless radiation is sort of like the elephant in the room. At least this is what the World Health Organization called it. And they were predicting that by the year 2020, cancer will double. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's only 6 years away, right? And we have to do something. We can't wait, until all the cell phone companies actually move their cell phone towers far enough away from us that it no longer affects our health. It's not going to happen, the opposite. So we're basically restoring the damage by restoring the cell function, because one thing that conventional medicine in North America, I'm from Germany and I never apologize for it, right? But one thing that conventional medicine is totally leaving out of the equation, is that we only can ever be as healthy as our cells are. So when you take care of your cells and you optimize cell function, I'm so passionate about it because I've been doing it for 9 years. So when you have optimum cell function, guess what? Disease cannot invade, right? It's very simple. And we finally, I used to talk, remember we're going back to New York, but what happened in New York stays in New York, okay?
Can't talk about that.
Don't talk about that. But what I always talk, and back then in New York, I was already waiting for the medical device license from Health Canada, remember? And we got it, yay! Hey!
Okay, so this looks pretty easy. It's a tablet. It's a regular tablet, so I can surf on this, I can do my Facebook, any social media, and then it also doubles as a health feature, so it helps to monitor my blood pressure.
These are applications that are going to be on there in the future, maybe next year. For now, you're correct, but for now we have the whole body mat PMF application.
So how does it work? So you've got me hooked up here.
Well, I'm just doing the whole body mat. Okay. I just use this. I'm going to release you from it now.
Tight.
It's a little tight. We can strip it out. Okay. I just did this to show that you can also, apart from it, the whole body mat functioning as optimum cell function, you can also use applicators to deal with certain areas of pain, disease, tumor, discomfort in your whole body. So it serves in a twofold, right?
So what's next? Is there something else coming, another product?
Yeah, there's, I didn't bring the brain entrainment. There's also brain entrainment, right? Where you can optimize brain function. Who doesn't like that, right?
Especially, when you reach a certain age, you want to keep that going.
With PMFs, we don't talk about age. With PMFs, 60 is going to be the new 40. I'm proof.
You're proof? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Right.
You're looking great.
Thank you.
Okay. So where can people find you to find out more about the PMF? And I'm sure you're going to have it around for people to demonstrate today.
Yes. www.PEMF Global, or you can find me on Facebook at PEMFglobal.com or Allieochs, ALLIEOCHS. And it also, what I find really exciting, it improves people's sex life and people's sex drive.
Talk about that.
Yeah, anybody interested in that?
You're all like so shy today. It's making me nervous. Come on, loosen up. So I'm interested, and then what happens with that?
It totally improves sex life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, didn't you say someone was trying to get pregnant and then they tried this?
That was a beautiful story. We'll share that. A beautiful young woman, and she had tried for 4 years to become pregnant. And I cannot say buy a mat and you get pregnant, right? I just know in my heart of hearts that when every cell in the body functions at its optimum level, amazing things are going to happen. So anyway, she bought it, and she has a beautiful, healthy, young baby. Powerful, right? It's amazing.
Again, so tell us how we can find you, and you got to check this out.
Yeah, www.PEMFglobal.com. A beautiful website that tells you everything about wireless radiation and the power of pulsed electromagnetic fields, and how you too can take control over your health on the cell level.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, Allie. It's always a pleasure. See you on the road again. We'll be right back with more guests.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
All right, welcome back. Sitting beside me now is the co-founder of Ikuma Inc., the amazing Gary LeBlanc is here on the show. Please welcome him.
Thanks, Nikki. It's great to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been a long time coming. And I'm enjoying my Boost drink. It's quite delicious.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I am too.
And you had a former life as a big executive for a top-tier company in the food industry. And you had an epiphany one day, and you left that and started the Ikuma movement. Can you tell me what happened?
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine. So I've been working in corporate my whole life. I have an engineering and business background, and I worked for top-tier companies. And actually, it was probably about 7 years ago, a good friend of mine got diagnosed with lymphoma. And I was always a healthy guy, but when he got diagnosed, it's always been kind of a burden. You know, I put on myself. I feel guilty for people who are close to me. I feel guilty when they're going through difficult times, and Brad was no different. And then I was just going to write a book, so I started researching, and then my business partner, Brian Coons, he actually...
He's here, by the way.
Yeah, he's in the back. He was actually meditating, and he had known of my project, and he said, you know what, with my background, with your background, why don't we get this book published and start a new company? And that's where Ikuma was born. So that's kind of the whole journey. And unfortunately, my friend, he passed away 3 years after being diagnosed. So this is almost a homage to Brad, and it's great that it came from a very honest place.
Absolutely. Ikuma what's the origin of that word, and what does it mean?
Ikuma, it's interesting. It means fire in Inuit. So the interesting thing about the Inuit culture and the language is they're very spiritual. They have a close connection with nature. And Ikuma, Ikuma sounds very Aboriginal. It could either be a Hawaiian surf village, it could be an Amazonian tribe, or it could be an Inuit word. And we love the word. We love what it means. Our logo consists of the 4 elements. So earth, air, wind, and fire, and each one of our products represents one of those elements. So it actually blended almost eerily well from the beginning. I'd like to say we had thought of that from the beginning, but really everything fell into place like it was kismet.
That's beautiful. Now you've got a book. Actually, I read the whole book cover to cover in a couple of days. It's such an easy read. The Evolution of Vitality. Mm-hmm. And I like how you're no nonsense. It's like tough love from Gary. He just tells it like it is, but it comes from a loving, genuine place. And there's some transformational tips that you have mentioned. Can we talk about some of the things that people can maybe start right away to change their lives? Yeah,
there's a few things. You know, if I was going to talk to somebody, you know, there's a few things I've done that are the top 10, but just touching on a few. You know, a lot of times people, the hardest part is really making a decision. You know, we have access to more information than ever before. Since the internet was invented and since Google's been around, everybody has access to pretty much everything out there. But we see obesity rates and diabetes rates skyrocketing. So with all that information out there, why aren't things changing? So one of the things that I feel really is a stumbling block for people is the simplicity. And the second would be the real inspiration or the impetus to change. Now, Brian's you know, motivation with joining me was almost something that gave me the inspiration to move forward with this. And you know, when I think of what inspired me to make this change at the beginning, it was Brad's difficulty. And the simplicity of it is one thing that actually is a driving force behind Ikuma. So one of the things people have to really make a decision on is, do they really seriously want to make a change? And are they inspired enough, are they motivated enough to make a change? Because if you truly do, there's a lot of resources out there. So the first one is actually making a decision. And one of the interesting things we talked about the other day was just the decision of going into your kitchen, recognizing what isn't healthy in your kitchen, packing it up, and getting it out of there. That's almost kind of the signal where you say to yourself, you know, I'm starting my journey. And, you know, that's already a sunk cost. People get stuck with the money. Well, that money's already been spent. So are you going to be better off eating, you know, the processed foods that you have in your kitchen, or are you better off making a change? So that's one of the major items I think people have to
because people bring up the argument that, oh, I can't afford organic foods because it's so pricey, but aren't you worth it?
Yeah, well, when we look back at, you know, we talk about the price of food. Back in 1930, we spent about 25% of our income on food. In present day, we spend about 9% of our income on food. So it's not that food's expensive, because organic food's only on average about 20 to 25% more on average than conventional food. So when you take 9%, increase that by 25%, it's still only 11% of our paycheck. Right. We used to spend 25%. So it's what we prioritized as being important that's the problem. It's not necessarily the difference in spend. And I'm not, you know, I don't want to sound like I can speak for everybody's condition. There are some people, you know, who have more difficulty purchasing organic foods. But when you look at the average and the cost, it truly is a very affordable way to live. And when you looked at the nutrition in organic foods, a study just came out, the most comprehensive study, and it showed that organic foods had 40 to 60% more antioxidants, more nutrition than conventional. So theoretically, you're getting 40 to 60% more for 20 to 25% more cost. So I just don't think people are totally sensitized to that. So I don't think money's truly a barrier in the end if people prioritize.
Okay. The other thing that you brought up was throwing out your room deodorizer.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting one, because that's another easy one. I bet everybody in here has Febreze, either in their car, either in their house. Well, not everyone. But this is it's an incredibly easy thing to do. You just take it and you throw it out and you never buy it again. These things, the EPA, so the Environmental Protection Agency, on their site actually recommend to be careful for your kids and pets, because it can cause skin irritation, eye irritation. There are phthalates in there. There are several chemicals that they don't have to divulge, because they're proprietary. They're basically proprietary blends. So it's almost this loophole where you really don't know what you're getting. So this is an easy one. And you know, the car I find is the worst. You walk into some cars and it just hits you like a wave. You know, that's obviously, you know, just intuitively, you know, those are chemicals, and it's an easy thing to change.
Right. Okay. Well, I want to just talk a little bit about Organic Boost. So this is really amazing. When I tried it, and the thing I noticed, so I was observing the reaction in my body, that I wasn't jittery at all. There wasn't any kind of, you know, I had the mental clarity, but without the jitters. So what's in it that makes it so special and not?
Yeah, we need a 2-hour talk show. I get pretty passionate when I talk about our products. To get to the bottom of it, think of Ikuma Boost as the healthiest energy drink on the market. I hate the word energy drink because it's been stigmatized right now. It's more of a vitality drink. Everything in there is organic, all whole food. We have no artificial sweeteners in there. The caffeine, I won't get into the science of it, but since it's naturally occurring from yerba mate and guarana, you get the alkaloids that actually calm your body as well as stimulate your nervous system. So that's why you got the energy without the jitters. And then we top it off with some B vitamins. We have some beetroot and some Panax ginseng, which is a traditional Chinese medicine herb. And then we flavor it with organic stevia and organic cane. So it's a very natural tea-based raspberry citrus. I'm extremely proud of it. And we have 2 other SKUs coming up, Ikuma Chill, which is an all-organic relaxation drink, and we have Ikuma Brain, which is going to be an all-natural cognitive enhancer. So yeah, those are our babies on the drink side, and then we have our supplement side. Yeah.
And guess what? Everyone gets a sample tonight. You get your own can of Boost. So thank you very much. And I want to say thank you very much for helping me and being a coach for me as I go through this journey as the Miss Plus Universe pageant. Ikuma is a wonderful sponsor, so thank you very much for all your information. So, all right. So, Gary, where can people find you?
Yeah, so it's www.ikuma.com. The spelling gets a bit tricky, but you all have a drink, so there's no excuse. And on our website, you'll see our supplements, you'll see our drinks, the book, it's all there. So it's a pretty easy, and you can find a drink in Loblaws across Canada. And we're soon to be in Whole Foods and the Big Carrot. And so, yeah, so we'll be everywhere in 6 months. I won't even have to tell you.
You got it here, the Nikki Clarke Show first. Thanks so much. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks so much, Nikki.
All right, anytime. We'll be right back with some more good stuff.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
All right, we are back. We have the author of the Poetically Exposed, a collection of beautiful poetry, Patrick Oliver Morris, here on the show. Please welcome him.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Great to have you. So the book, and thank you so much for the delivery. Like right in my mailbox, I got a copy of the book, Soothe My Soul.
Yes.
Beautiful title. And there are many things that I like to ponder, to soothe my soul. And this is yet another part of that extension. But when did you get to the point of writing this? And you've got many things that you've done. You're a writer, you're a spoken word artist, you're a motivational speaker, a TV host.
Once upon a time, yes.
Once upon a time. And then you put this book together. When did that happen?
The book really sort of just was like a waterfall just flowing out of me. About 5 years ago. Like I've always loved language growing up, like Shakespearean plays. I've always loved the way that words were used. But I didn't actually start writing until about 5 years ago when I was going through a pretty bad breakup. And my writing was really a way of healing. It was a way of detoxing, of getting out a lot of my thoughts and my feelings and being able to figure out what my life was going to be about, what I was looking for in terms of as being a father, what that was going to look like, what my expectations were with my children, expectations around relationships. So a lot of what's in here are my innermost thoughts around what I look for, like, you know, what I look for in a woman, what I expected that relationship to be like when I met that woman, and how I was going to be as a man. So it's more, it's like a window into the thoughts of a man.
So the heart of a man is exposed.
Yes, yes.
In this book.
And it was really a way of soothing my soul, being able to get out a lot of the hurt and the pain that I was going through, and being able to find my path.
Okay. What is your reflection of what is happening in Ferguson as a black male? What can you speak to about the situation?
You know, I've watched what's happened in Ferguson, and you know, not just in Ferguson, throughout the United States, and seen many situations that young black males have been killed, and it's tragic. But I'm not surprised, and the reason why I'm saying I'm not surprised is because you, more so in the United States, you have two groups of individuals who have a very black and white in the U.S. is very tumultuous, and you know, after slavery there was no kind of counseling to be able to say, you know, you're no longer a slave owner, think differently. You're no longer a slave, think differently. And throughout the generations, you see it wherein a lot of people are clashing with one another because that mentality is still passed down throughout the generation. I've talked to a lot of American black men, and the sense of hopelessness that is within their lives is great. And until something traumatic happens to sort of shift everyone's thinking, sadly, it's going to continue to happen. The violence that's happening, I think, is horrible, because I don't think that's necessarily the way about getting the change that needs to be done, because violence only begets violence. We all know this. I think Martin Luther King had the right approach. This is my personal belief, you know, coming from a place of love and from a higher moral standard, and being able to reach out to others, reach across the room and try to shift and create change from a place of love and not hate. True. Anytime you stand in a place of love and hate, and you're preaching hate, You know, if I hurt you, you're only going to seek to hurt me back. But if I hurt you and you don't seek to hurt me back, and you show me compassion and help me to see how I hurt you, then we can change the world.
True.
Amen.
And
a little long-winded.
Can you choose a selection for us in your book, maybe as a dedication to the healing that I'd like to see in all the Fergusons?
And, you know, Ferguson is we often look to the U.S. as being Black Canadian. We often look to the U.S. and sort of look at the things that are happening there. But I think a lot of times we forget what happens in our own backyards. You know, the Ferguson that's happening in Canada today is how the Canadian government really treats the Aboriginals. You know, the natives that live here, they go through horrible situations. And I think, you know, as we ponder what happens in the U.S., we also need to ponder what we're doing within our own backyards. This is called The Seed We Sow. So the days of men and women on this planet we call Earth are numbered. We must remember at some point we all must harvest the rewards, the blessings, the shame, or the famine from the seeds that we sow within our lives and within the lives of others.
It's beautiful. Thank you. So where can people find a copy of the book?
PatrickOMorris.com. You can go there and you can purchase the book online. I do have a few copies here for sale. It's $20. But yeah, PatrickOMorris.com.
All right. And someone who is an aspiring poet, what would you advise them when they're getting their work out? I'd
say don't give up on your dream. Just continue to push and to strive. For me, this book was a long time coming. This is the first of 3 volumes. When I was going through my detox, the words just started coming, and I had to write. I'd be driving and I had to pull over and I had to write. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I had to write. I had to get it out. And if once the taps turned on, you know, just make your notes. Go back and re-edit and edit and re-edit. And don't give up on your dream, because you never know. Like 5 years ago, I didn't think that what I was going through was gonna birth this. And all the people who've read it have come back and told me how it's helped to soothe their soul. Right. And I'm really grateful, because God has truly blessed me to be able to share my experience and have somebody else learn from it.
All right. Well, we're truly blessed from you being here today and sharing parts of Soothe My Soul. So I wish you the best of luck, and come back anytime if you've got some new publications.
Volume 2 and 3.
Volume 2 and 3, there you go. All right, Patrick, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Great to be here.
We'll be right back.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience, or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.